Alright, in this quick video we're going to talk about calibrating our tank level sensor to our sensor hub, and so we can measure properly from 0 to 100% full. So what we already did is plugged in our tank level sensor to that port on the bottom. What we're going to do is a 10-foot cable. We're just going to hang it on the nail over here to get out of our way. So I'll put that up over there. What we want to do is put the sensor into always on mode. So I'll put it always on. I'll save settings. If you have it powered on too, it'll already be in this mode. What this allows us to do is take readings on demand to the sensor. It makes calibration a little easier. Now we'll take a few minutes talking about our sensor. This is an ultrasonic sensor, so it's able to read the distance, how far away that sap is, and just non-contact. It just has to be mounted above that tank, and then it'll measure that distance away properly. The sensor itself, if you notice, there's a little cone on that sensor. Ideally, that's where that's the sound that gets sent out, and that's not right against the wall. You want it near the middle of your tank, or it could be left or right, but just not right against the wall. The first 10 inches is also a dead zone, so ideally you're higher than 10 inches away. It doesn't have to be. If you have a opening like this, and that's the only option you have, it'll still work fine. Just once it gets to 10 inches, it may read a little bit more sporadic. So if you're able to mount it above 10 inches, that's the ideal scenario. In this case, with this open manhole cover, I'm going to mount it on that top. I'm going to make my levels nice and level. And this bracket, I can loosen the one knob on the bracket here, and then it's fully adjustable. Make it nice and level. Now that we have our sensor mounted securely and nice and level, I'm going to choose a method to calibrate the tank. We have two different options. The first option is just a trusty old tape measure, and I'll use a piece of cardboard to represent full. So what I'll want to do is just measure distance to the bottom of the tank, just to the bottom of this white piece here. So it's about 51 inches or so. And I measure right to the bottom of that white piece. And then I want to measure distance to full. And here's just an estimate. I'm going to call it about 8 inches away is where my full tank will be. So under device settings, I come to the bottom and I'm going to set my distance to full as 8 inches. And my distance to empty was 51 inches. I can either hit the plus or minus, or I can just type it in as well. At this point, I want to save settings. Those settings now have been saved, and now I can confirm the tank level calibration. If I click the read tank, right now it's an empty tank, so it's going to read the bottom, and it's measured as 50.5 inches away and 1% full, so basically empty. Now I'll put this about as far in as I can reach. I'll read tank. That's 19 inches away, 72%. I'll go a little closer. 12 inches away, 88%, and I'll put it right where I thought full was. Do retank again, and 12 inches, 90% full. So that's overall, that's one method to calibrate it. Now we'll talk about a different method that you don't need the tape measure. So here, if you notice, we have the set full and set empty buttons. Right now, I can just use the sensor to measure, have it tell me how far it's away. So if I change that value, what is it going to do if I click set empty? It's talking to the sensor hub, telling it to take a reading, and the reading that it measured will punch it right into that entry there. I can do the same thing for full. I'm going to set full right about there. I'll click set full. Now it's 13 inches away, and now I can save settings. And that final piece you want to set is what type of tank you have, the size of that tank, and the number of taps going into that tank. So here I have a round bottom and a round top tank, traditionally more of a bulk tank that's used for, is what we have there. We also have round bottom, open top, more of a traditional tanks from any of the major maple equipment dealers. Round bottom, round top is a bulk tank. vertical cylinder or silo, many of the plastic tanks out there, or even the newer stainless silos. By selecting these types of tanks, SapSpy can better estimate the number of gallons that are in that tank. It measures distance away, and by knowing the geometry of that tank, it can make a better estimate by how full that tank is in number of gallons for you. This particular tank is 1,000 gallons. Once again, I can hit plus or minus, or I can just type it in. And in this particular sugar bush, where we'll have this tank is we have 1,200 taps. So I'll just click Save Settings again. And that information will be used to better estimate both the number of gallons that we get from the tank, as well as even gallons per tap per hour, or gallons per tap per day that you've collected from your sugar bush. That's where that information will be used in the future. That's tank level calibration, as simple as that. Reach out with any additional questions.